Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my podcast. I'm the host. I am Dr. Wilhelmina, and each time I come to you, I bring you information about wellness, trends, and reviews about beauty. But today, I'm talking about something else, something that is affecting us all, and it's called leadership. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, well, I'm not a boss, I'm not a CEO, I don't have people under me. Let me stop you there. Leadership is not about titles. Leadership is about influence, impact, and how you show up in the world. And the truth is, you're already leading in your family, in your friendships, in your community, and yes, even in how you treat yourself. So let me give you a story. When I lost my mother when she passed, my father had already passed earlier, years earlier. And if you would have asked me before they passed who was going to step up and be the leader, I would have thought it would be me. But it wasn't. And actually, I was far away from my family. I lived far away, and uh, I was a single parent. I had my own child and in another state. And so for me, it was difficult to be a leader when I'm nowhere near them and I don't really get to interact with them very often. We're in different time zones and everything. So the person that stepped up was my twin brother, and I was surprised because I didn't think that he would ever do that. Like, he became the patriarch of our family. So you just never really know how it's going to go until it happens. But the thing is, he had the leadership abilities within him and wasn't a leader by title and anywhere. So it was pretty interesting the way this rolled, but it was good because I wasn't ready for it at the time. I was struggling trying to be a parent and just trying to do life. So, but I have other siblings that could have also stepped up and been that patriarch. It just happened to be him, and he was the oldest next to my sister that was in a nursing home. So, well, eventually was in a nursing home. So, anyway, leadership without rank. Let's talk about that. Coming from a military background, I was surrounded by rank, titles, and chains of command. And yes, those things matter in certain structures and situations, but some of the most influential leaders I ever met were the ones that did not have stars on their shoulders or heavy rank or anything like that. They were the ones who inspired others, who set the tone for the room, and who lifted people up. Not only that, they modeled resilience, the bounce back from bad situations. Um, I know that I always like to call them the informal leaders. That's the official name for them, the informal leaders, but they really are. They're the people that lead the environment where you're working or your family or the community, and they're just no rank or title for them. They're just wise people. And leadership without a title is about the choices you make when no one is watching, that integrity. How you treat the cashier at this grocery store, how you show kindness to someone struggling, I would say how you check in on people and see how they're doing when you know that they're possibly struggling at a time that's so difficult, especially now in our country. Um, you carry that integrity into the small things, and those are leadership moments. Okay, in our next segment, we're going to talk about everyday examples. I talked about my brother, but these are the specifics about it. Think about it. A parent who teaches your child patience in leading, a friend who calls you just to check in, like I just said. I had a friend check on me this week because, of course, I'm furloughed. So, just making sure I was okay and I didn't need anything or did I need anything. Um, Also, there's never an agenda, it's just love. It's just that leadership, just checking on the people that matter. Well, everybody matters, so checking on people. That coworker who encourages others even when they themselves are under pressure and leading. I try to be a good leader myself, but sometimes there are people in my office that are great leaders themselves, and having them being a supervisor to that person is wonderful because they're helping you do the work without really having a title for the work. And currently, I'm not a supervisor. I moved from a supervisory position into the one I'm in now, but I love it. It's a wonderful job. And I love the people I work with and my supervisor. I probably said this before on podcasts because it's just true. You don't need permission or a badge or a title to be a leader. Every single day, you're shaping the culture around you. And the question is, what kind of culture are you creating? I'll tell you about something. I had a job once, a long time ago, and I wasn't a supervisor. Um, and I had a supervisor that was horrible. When I say horrible, I don't mean, well, I do mean horrible as a supervisor, but just horrible to people. Each one of her people had a nickname and she used it out loud. So mine was, I was her blonde. Another friend, I'm not even gonna say what they were because they may or may not know, and I'm not putting it out there, and if they know about that, me being this person's blonde, they know who I'm talking about, those people I actually worked with, so I'm not gonna say the other names, but we all had our little negative nickname, and, of course, I went head to head with her on that, but that's another story, another podcast. I didn't appreciate it, but the thing is, one of the things I tried to do was check in on the people in our office at the time, make sure everybody was okay, because my job was actually wellness, so I would check in and see how they're doing, have conversations, walk the halls with people, and it was not my job to do that. I was providing information for folks when they do get in distress, but I felt like I took on that I needed to do this and make sure especially our staff was okay because the same things I was going through, they were also going through. So, um, I did feel like it was for me to step up and be a leader in that position, even though I was lower ranking than most of the people on our staff, but I thought it was important. Okay, so let's talk about 3 ways to lead without a title. Let's make this practical. Here are 3 single ways you can step into leadership today right where you are. 1, lead yourself first. If you want influence, start with self discipline, self care, self respect. People notice when you show up consistently, but start with yourself first. That might be my arch nemesis working out. I still do acupuncture. I do my own self analysis quite often to make sure that I'm showing up correct in the world, that I'm not hurting anyone, and I'm supporting others, but, for me, that's something I want to do, so it's my self-discipline and my self-care, it makes me feel good. Um, Model what you want to see. Now, I used to have a phrase, and my coworkers can tell you because they've seen it in the office. I actually sent it by mail to myself so I can show that I officially made this up, but it was model the hate I'm sorry, model the behavior you want to receive. So this thing is saying model what you want to see. Pretty much the same thing. You want the same for yourself that you want for others, but you're modeling that behavior, not just expecting it, you're giving it also. Um, if you want positivity, bring positivity. If you want accountability, hold yourself accountable. People mirror that type of energy. And if you had noticed, if you look around you at a lot of positions, you'll notice that when you're working, that you tend to get the positive feedback and the um, positive attaboys. And so you end up wanting to continue that behavior when you're doing that, and also others around you. Oh, they're not going to let you be at the top. There's that competition thing there. They want to learn to be that way and learn to show that kind of behavior that your supervisor or the boss or your family leader or whoever it is, a community that they appreciate or want to see out of you. And others will carry on just like you. Um, Empower others. Real leaders don't hoard the spotlight. They help others shine. They compliment people, they share knowledge, they create space for others to win. And you open up that conversation so that you can help others that you see are struggling. Like you're at work or in your community or in your home, in your with your family, you notice that they're not getting it. They just need to know what it is. You kindly share with them what you've learned that helps you to get and do what you want to do. You just help them. Now, there are some people that roll in the not knowing intentionally. So there is a point when you kind of hand it over and let them do what they do. Make sure you give them enough information. They keep coming back. You keep taking it for a little bit, but after a while, they're going to have to step up and do their own work for themselves. But you share and help them in their struggles. Um, Leadership multiplies when you pass it on. So, I want to talk a little bit more now about in closing what I want to say to you. So, with in closing, here it is. You are already a leader. You influence in real. I'm sorry, your influence is real. Whether you realize it or not, you don't need to wait for a promotion, a degree, or someone's permission slip. You're already that. Your family, your community, your future self, they're all impacted by the way you choose to show up. So today, lead with intention, lead with kindness, lead with courage, and watch how it changes the world around you. So with this podcast, if this podcast spoke to you, share it with someone who needs the reminder that they already have the power to lead. And as always, thank you for spending the time with me. Until next time, keep leading with love. Take care and thanks for listening.